Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Anna. I am a portrait photographer in the Chicagoland area, and I actually let someone take pictures of myself for once. And we're going to be talking about the actual modeling experience. So this is something that I think all photographers should do at least once in their life, because when you're a photographer, you're just looking through the viewfinder. And sometimes when your client or when your model isn't necessarily getting the pose that you want, you can actually do this challenge and understand the reason why they can't see or why they don't understand what you're kind of trying to explain to them. Because obviously when you're the photographer, you're looking at the screen, you know exactly what's wrong. So being on the other side of it, it's a bit of a challenge, but I think everyone should do it at least once. So I know it's really hard to get people to stand in front of your camera so you can be able to get some photos. So typically what I recommend is to go on Facebook and look for some photography groups. I know there's a lot in my area and there's definitely going to be a lot in your area. So what you just got to do is you just got to type in your area and type in photographers or models, and you should be able to find something. So that is actually how I met my friend. He is a other photographer in my area, and he pretty much contacted me basically seeing all the work that I've been posting on YouTube and posting on my other social medias. And he's like, hey, we should collab. And I'm like, hey, that's a really good idea. I could probably do a YouTube video about it. So all of this information is going to be listed down in the description box below, and I will tag his YouTube channel over here. Once we had our location and the date set, it was time to just get ready and head out to that shoot. So pretty much what we did is we found a local forest preserve that was around in my area, and this forest preserve has a lot of really tall grass and a lot of, overgrown vegetation. So I thought it was gonna be a really cool idea to kind of get some girl running in a prairie, type thing. So pretty much that's what my idea or my look was going for. Now, I do not remember all of the equipment that he was using that day, but I will have it listed down below in the description box. And I do specifically remember that we were using off-camera flash, so this is really important when it comes to your photos. As we were shooting, he was being very encouraging and giving me a lot of comments and a lot of tips on what I should do. He was always reminding me that I should be very comfortable, which is something that I think is a really good idea for future shoots, is to, just have fun, just relax. I don't think that there should be too much pressure on it, especially when it comes to photographing a client, only because they can become very stiff and uncomfortable. So constantly remind them that they just have to be comfortable. From the model's standpoint, basically you're going to have to practice a little bit before you actually come up to the photo shoot. This can sometimes be a little bit difficult because you're not really sure how to do it or where to do it. So one of the tips that I've learned from other models is that you pretty much just practically practice in front of a mirror. Just go ahead and look in the mirror, do full body shots, maybe focus on the upper half, and make sure that everything that you're doing is in direct line of the camera. So say that you are doing a side profile and the camera is facing directly at you, you should make sure that every angle that you're doing is to your satisfaction and the photographer's satisfaction. So another thing that is super important that I think every model should do is to give a lot of ideas. Sometimes the photographer doesn't really have anything in mind when it comes to the actual shoot or the theme that you're going for. So usually I would just go on Pinterest and look up model poses that you think would be appropriate to whatever the situation is, and pretty much just practice those poses right before you get to the shoot. Now, one thing that you do realize when you are modeling is that your insecurities kind of show, and a little bit of your problem areas can be very apparent when it comes to looking at the photos. So there's a bunch of things that you can do in order to make sure that your insecurities aren't really going to be visible in the photos. So if you have a double chin, usually what people recommend is just sticking the chin out and bringing the chin down. This usually will cause the neck to stretch a little bit, and this will reduce the amount of double chin that's happening in that area. Now, one of the things that I have is my middle section. My middle section can be a little bit tricky when it comes to taking photos, so that is usually a thing that you can mention to the photographer, and they can either do portraits, so it's going to be pretty much from the rib cage up, or you can do full body shots and just constantly give the photographer a side profile. That way you do look slimmer than straight on. Lots of feedback is very critical when you are being a model and you need feedback from the photographer. I've been in situations where the photographer literally says, no feedback whatsoever, and I don't even know if we're getting any good shots. So basically, when you're a photographer, you need to let them know if they're doing something good, tell them to keep doing that. If they're doing something that you aren't really sure if it works well or if it doesn't work well, kind of ask them, kind of maybe offer some suggestions for a different pose or for a different angle, and usually we can come up with a good result. And on that note, that is the end of this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button to get notified every single time I post a new video. We are very close to 100 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. I know that might not be your typical YouTube channel that you watch. This might be something that you occasionally watch. So if you are just here just to watch one video, or if you're here from the beginning to the end, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. If you guys are interested in other photography related videos, I have playlists linked down below, and I've also created them on my channel so you can watch all of those on your own time. With all of that said and done, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.